to a dungeon to really showcase the build, and then I'm gonna go over the skill tree, the aspects, and everything. There you go. See all of those enemies, little bone spear, pull them together, explode, and everything is dead. Let's go for a unique. Let's quickly there, pull them together, boom, and everything is dead. Like literally. And now we can even, if we need more damage, we can still pull them together, bone spear, and everything actually dies. So that's pretty easy to go through everything. Bosses are kinda tough, but you also get there. You do a lot of damage to bosses, you just have to play a little more backup and a little more defensive. But now, let's quickly go over the build, because it's most of the time it's very fun looking at it. So here we have it. I have full legendary gear, but that's not what you need. I will go over the main aspects that you need, that it's not so difficult to get, and I'm also showing you where to get those aspects from later. So here we don't need that. That's nice. That's a little nice add-on, but we don't need it for more damage. You're doing enough damage without these aspects. The parts that I didn't even leveled aren't even included in the build. So this is a barrier each time Bone Storm damages an enemy. That's nice for defensive, but you don't 100% need that. If you don't feel too squishy, you don't need it all the time. If you go up here, increase strike chance for 6 seconds when Corpse Tendril is activated. Also, you're getting 54% bonus critical strike damage, which is good, which is really strong. I would recommend getting it in the build, but as I said, it's not 100% needed. But what's needed? This thing. Personally, this is one of my favorite defensive aspects, and it's actually very good for the Necromancer because it's a very, very squishy class. For me, I think you could really need it because you will die or get hit a lot, and if you oversee it, this makes a little bubble that heals you, as you saw by me now, and it's really just there to help you out. I mean, it's very strong. It's just good. For the helmet, for 4 seconds when you deal any form of damage, which is also personally a really good aspect that you should go for. It's 10 out of 10. I would recommend. You just need those defensive aspects that really increase your health and your armor. So those two are really massive to have. And when we come to the amulets and the rings, those I didn't change them. Since this I changed level 40, but this is since 21 and 20. I haven't changed those rings. So, one main aspect, Bone Spear primary attack makes enemy beyond the first hit vulnerable, and your build is basically only doing damage through vulnerable enemies. So that's also very, very important on that point. And next to it, we have the critical strike, increase your essence regeneration, which is also very important because every time you do damage, you use your essence, and the more essence you have, the more damage you are doing, which we will take a look later and as we go to the skill tree. So that's also a very good. It's important. It's one of the aspects you need. Then last one, restore one of your primary resource when you crowd control an enemy. Basically, you're always crowd controlling an enemy, so that's something you definitely need to do. And basically, it's all the legendary you need. You need this, and those two for defensive aspects. But if you want to go minimalist as possible, those three will be enough to carry you throughout most of the game. Like, you always getting better legendaries as the game progresses, but those three are really the most important ones you can have. And yeah, all you need is those three. Now, if we take a look at our Book of the Dead and our abilities. So let's start with the abilities to really showcase you what I went for. First up, I went with Bone Splinters and enhanced them once, because you need to advance them. You because otherwise you can't go down here. And you basically only use this for essence regeneration, so it's not 100% needed, but that's the best thing we can do because we're a bone build and a bone build is the only bone ability, so I think you get what I mean there. Next, we have here, for our second skill, I'm gonna be using Bone Spear as our main skill. This will be the damage dealing. You see, I have maxed it out to 5. You should do that too. It's really helpful. Then I enhanced it, but first go only with one. If you're starting out, go only with one Bone Spear and just enhance it over the time as you have other skills to unlock. Bone Spear breaks into 3 shots when it's destroyed, dealing 180 damage. This is also very, very helpful. That's one of your main damage dealing aspects. And then we're going with Panormal Bone Spear because we're getting our enemies vulnerable through the first hit with our aspect. Then here we have Lucky Hit, which is very important for boss fights. It's also something I would go for in the first time, because without that you will have a hard time dealing with the enemies, because especially bosses. In bosses, without this aspect, it's very, very hard to deal with them. So let's go down to the next skill tree. We here use Corpse Explosion. Corpse Explosion, as everybody knows, deals damage. Then radius is increased and 8% increased damage to vulnerable and stunned or slowed enemies, which we are doing a vulnerable Bone Spear build. That's why it's very helpful. Also, we went Consuming Corpse generates 6 essence, which helps to build up your essence generation. That's why I went with the Grim Harvest. And next to it, 9% increased damage after consuming a corpse for 6 seconds. This will be up basically all the time. And it's just very, very helpful. Next up, this one is basically more for endgame, when you want to quickly get invisible and not being able to attack. So not invisible, but I think you know what I mean. If we go down there, in this skill we didn't use anything, and then we went with Corpse Tendrils. Corpse Tendrils really fuse everything together, and with those 2 aspects, they're slowed by 50%, and you make them vulnerable, which then you're doing more damage and everything stacks up and you're just blasting out damage. Next up, increased Serration. Your bone skills have an increased critical strike chance. Those 3 are basically main skills that are also used to do more damage. Bone skills do 50% increased damage after critical striking, which you will be doing a lot of the time. And next, 8% increased critical strike damage to vulnerable enemies, because everything is gonna be vulnerable at a time. And then we coming to an end. In the end, you probably want to go with Standalone because you don't have any minions for protection, and Memento Mori with sacrificing the skeletal warriors gives you a 60% damage boost. So I would go with 3 out of 3 there as soon as you can, because this boost really helps you a lot. Then I would choose to go with Ossified Essence. This is a 1% increased damage for each point you have up on 50 essence to cast, which is also just boosting your damage. And then down there we went for the Bone Storm because we only have bone damage, and that's what we need. Down there we are going for damage reduction while it is active, and also for increased chance of 20% when it's active, which is also very, very helpful. And it's just helping us to deal more damage. I don't have Paragon unlocked. I'm still completing the story, but this is the build I'm going with. Afterwards, I will, of course, upgrade the Imperfectly Balanced skill tree a little bit more to do more damage. Then I will go with Unliving Energy. And also I wanna upgrade my Corpse Explosion more. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 skill points will easily be in there because I still have to unlock some things. But that's basically what I'm planning to do here. And to look at our Book of the Dead, we have Skirmishers. Those are also sacrificed because we haven't sacrificed Bone Spear build. You increased 5%. That's it. Nothing more. Cold mages, we are sacrificing them too, cause 15% increased damage to vulnerable enemies, which is also helping us because we're doing a lot of vulnerable damage. And at last, we are doing the Iron Golem. This aspect is unlocked at level 32, and it's a big damage boost. You deal 30% increased critical strike damage, which is obnoxiously strong. It's very good. Those are our golems, our sacrifices, and now I'm gonna quickly show you how to see which aspects we need. We can go here to a collection and total aspects. Let's go to our class. Here you can see all of the aspects you get, and this is one you need. It's one damped in Kestin. If we pin it, you can also see the pins where they're going. That's going down there, and you just need to pin the aspects and you have them afterwards where there were then. But as we told you, the main three aspects have been from Gulran Slums. Keep in mind, this is only acquired after you complete a certain path from Act 3, so don't freak out because you didn't find it all along. And then the two resource abilities, which is one from the Black Asylum dungeon and one from the Dry Steppes. The Dry Steppes, don't mind that, you can do this immediately, but the one of those dungeons is already here, that's Black Asylum. Then the other dungeon is, I just pinned them on. Like, here's one, here's the Gulram Slums, where you get one of the three aspects, and then here is, no, it's not Champion's Demise. I don't find it right now, but you just have to look in yourself. Just want to help you as much as possible. I mean, I can't even ping it on the map, unfortunately, but that's gonna be the build video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, feel free to like and subscribe. Tell me if you used it, if it also works so good as it does with me. And I wish you an amazing rest of the day. Bye.